unquestioningly obedient to church authorities in whatever they tell you. Follow the brethren is a slogan that they use, and it means to follow without doubt or without question. Discussion of whether a decree from above is correct is highly discouraged. You'll be expected to have faith that the leaders cannot possibly lead you astray. Even if they should tell you something which contradicts what a previous prophet may have said, you'll be told a living prophet takes precedent over a dead prophet. You'll be able to vote on those who will be called to position of authorities over you. However, you will have one candidate to vote for because they've been called for by God. You will be told not to read any materials which are, quote, not faith-promoting. That is, which may be critical or questioning of the church or its leaders, which might place the church or its leaders in an unfavorable light. You will be told not to associate with apostates, that is, former Mormons. And you will actually be probably asked in your worthiness interview whether you've been hanging out with ex-Mormons. They call them Jack Mormons. I've had the great grace of baptizing Jack Mormon, so it was great. Charlotte, I think. And if you are unmarried, you'll be encouraged to marry a good Mormon as soon as possible. And when you do marry, in a wedding ceremony in the temple, your non-Mormon family members and friends will not be allowed to attend the ceremony because only worthy Mormons are allowed to enter the temple. If you're male over 12 and you are worthy, and they've got a whole list of things that come up in your worthiness interview, you'll be ordained to one of the levels of priesthood. And if you continue to be faithful and obedient, you'll gradually advance through the priesthood ranks. If you're a female, you'll receive the benefits of priesthood authority indirectly through your father or your husband. If you prove yourself to be faithful, hardworking, and obedient, you will eventually be considered worthy to receive your endowment in the Mormon temple. You will not be told in advance exactly what to expect in the lengthy ceremony, except that the details of the ritual are secret. Although what they'll say, they'll use the word sacred. It's sacred. It's a secret. And during the part of the ceremony, you'll be required to swear a number of oaths, the penalty for violation of which, up until 1990, was that you would be slit from one ear to another for violating the secrecy oath. Does anybody else know what other organization puts that on you? If you tell these secrets, your throat will be slit from ear to ear?
The mob.
No, well, the mob. Right. That was a part of the Masonic ritual as well. That was what the Masons promised when they were making their promises, that if they gave the secrets, slit from ear to ear. You will be given the secret signs and passwords at the endowment ceremony, which are required for you to enter into heaven. Although most Mormons have now received the endowment, know very little until you go through it. Most Mormons don't know what's going to happen. Of course, most of the stuff now, ex-Mormons it's on the internet. You can go on there and read all about it. You can get the handshake and all that other stuff, just in case, right? And then after receiving the endowment, you will be required to wear special undergarments at all times.
Special.
Yes, apparently your garments of salvation. Two quick things like that. And if you leave the church, you will be shunned. Now, I have to tell you, it's a true story. The first time I did this class for the St. Michael's Conference for Youth, I was talking about the Mormon underwear. And I said to the class, with the best of pure intentions, I had a friend of mine in college. She was a great person, and she was a Mormon. And I always hoped that someday she would trust me enough that she would show me her underwear. Now, I'm honest to God that she would open the drawer and show me what they look like. That 100% was in my head. Not what the children heard. And apparently not what any of you heard either. A few years ago, I traveled through Salt Lake City, and we stopped. And Jennifer, of course, wanted to stop me from marching around 7 times and blowing a trumpet and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, they took us off to the side and they tried to tell us all about what was in the temple because we couldn't go in. And of course, we had too many questions and they shoot us off. So we grabbed another docent and we asked him where we could buy a postcard. I wanted to send a postcard back to the office here of the temple. And the woman seemed a bit confused and said, well, I think if you go across the street to the headquarters building in the basement, there's a bookstore. I said, okay, great. Well, that was a mistake on their part because this wasn't the public bookstore. This is where you went to buy your missionary supplies and your teaching things and your Sunday school stuff and all that kind of thing. And of course they had the underwear. So I said to Jennifer, Jennifer, go over and buy me some underwear. And I had my St. John's Detroit polo shirt on. I wasn't going to be able to pull off of course I didn't tell Jennifer she'd probably have to know the secret handshake, to get the underwear or something. But anyway, I thought that was, I saw them. They really exist, the Mormon underwear. I actually saw them without having to ask a girl to open her drawer and show them to me. But Jennifer she was too bashful. So, but what's amazing to me is this stuff exists, but you don't see it on eBay. People don't. Ex-Mormons don't tend to get rid of them. You know what I'm saying?
They deny it that it
exists. They're really just all over that.
I thought it was just special clothing when you were in the temple. They talked about that on the tour, but I didn't realize it existed.
They have garments you wear all the time. So anyway, we've got 5 minutes, less than that. So what are some of the things that they'll teach you about God? And they won't tell you when you get to the door. First of all, they'll tell you that God was once a man who lived on another planet. He went through all of these rituals himself, became really important, he died, he became a resurrected man, and evolved to become a god. And he's still married now, by the way, although some leaders would say he's also polygamous. And he created this world. We worship only one true God, which was really one God among millions or billions more. And the Mormons believe that they'll follow in God's footsteps by becoming perfect, and if you become a perfect Mormon, you too will become a god. I like that. So, that we're co-eternal with God, that we have existed throughout all eternity, just as God has. It just so happens that the energies, our intelligences, have taken a body in this time and in this space, where we're pre-existent. That Jesus Christ was begotten by a physical union between God and Mary. And since God has a body of flesh and bones, he literally had relations with Mary. And the product of this union was Jesus, who's part God and part man. The Mormons believe that he was first born in heaven by Heavenly Father and Mother, who created his spirit and our spirits, using our intelligences as a foundation for our spirits. So, again, odd. Your truth is defined by your feelings. There's a lot of influence for that. We have that in the Episcopal Church, unfortunately. What a prophet said can be revised depending on the circumstances. We can save our dead relatives by baptizing the dead. Ex-Mormons or apostates, apparently what went wrong with them was that they had a sin in their life and they never really received a real conversion. That's why they went apostate. You're only allowed to read church materials. Your job is to convert the world to Mormonism. By being Mormon, you're assured of salvation even if you're wrong about it, as long as you convert to Mormonism. Anyway, and that you have to believe in the Book of Mormon. So those are some of the things that will really mess you up if you're a Mormon. One of which, of course, is God. Right now, the big debate out there is that if you are baptized a Mormon because they don't believe in the Trinity, are you really baptized? And of course, the answer has always been no. And the Roman Church has recently come out and redone that. All that being said, the Episcopal Bishop of Utah, right? This is Irish. Was baptized a Mormon and was never rebaptized. So, all very much. So, anyway, so that's Mormonism in a nutshell. There's plenty out there to read. Mormons are wonderful, for the most part, are wonderful human beings. Industrious, good people, loving, caring, really concerned for their church and for their friends and their family. It's wonderful. Big families. Love that. I do. And wouldn't it be great if we had enough zeal among our young people to go out and spend 2 years preaching, living basically as monks for 2 years and preaching the gospel. So when you meet a Mormon, thank God that you have the opportunity to share the good news with them and love and serve the Lord.
Thanks be to God.